Death of Cincinnati firefighter Daryl Gordon led to lots of recommendations to keep something like that from happening again.
And now, 2 years later, the 9 on Your Side I-Team is asking if those very important recommendations are being followed at all. 9 on Your Side's Tom McKee has been digging for some answers. Tom, what did you find out?
Well, Craig, the recommendations are all in these reports, 2 from the Cincinnati Fire Department, 1 from the Federal National Institute of Occupational Safety and Health. What I discovered is many of the recommendations have been followed, some are partially in place, and others with big price tags are still on the table. It's back to basics for Cincinnati firefighters, refresher training on search and rescue, brushing up on forcing doors open, recruits practicing laying hose lines.
That's our bread and butter.
That emphasis stems from the 2015 Madisonville fire that killed fire apparatus operator Daryl Gordon. 3 reports laid out key recommendations in training, communications, and equipment, costing $2.2 million. 2 years later, there's still plenty of work to do.
Is the city of Cincinnati doing everything possible to make them safer? And the answer to that is no, it's not.
We've done everything we can do to this point to really make sure that safety is a priority.
Driving this in.
The biggest and most costly recommendation was increasing the training staff from 5 to 16 people.
Currently, we haven't added any of the permanent staff.
Chief Winston says the department doesn't have $1.2 million to do that, or another $500,000 a year for fire inspectors. That's forced the chief to improvise, especially in training.
People from our suppression strength that are being detailed into training to help with some of the, not only the recruit training, but also some of our incumbent training that's currently going on.
Incumbent training was another recommendation.
All right, you guys are good.
Most of it is being done at the Fire Academy Summit Firehouses. District Chief Greg Potter oversees it all.
New techniques that came out since a lot of these guys were trained 20, 30 years ago. So we're just trying to get everybody back to doing the little things right.
It's little things going wrong that contributed to Daryl Gordon's death. For example, it took 20 minutes to get water on the fire because hoses got caught in a stairwell. Gordon became separated from his crew during search and rescue. Colleagues didn't know he was missing for 10 minutes.
Our procedures have been reviewed and they've been updated in line with those recommendations.
Another problem, Gordon fell down an elevator shaft. He didn't know fellow firefighters had marked it, "Do not enter." The reports recommended buying equipment to mark doors and chocks to block them open or close, but that's a work in progress.
In the door chocks themselves, members continue to make their own. Stores doesn't stock them, but our members make them themselves.
Waterfall.
Another budget battle is keeping the department at full strength.
You move all your extremities normally?
There are 849 members right now thanks to a new recruit class, but that's barely offsetting retirements.
Even though we're bringing in recruit classes, we're losing people at a faster rate, and that's one of the balancing acts that we have to play with.
The Cincinnati Fire Department's basically treading water right now. We're hiring just enough to keep us at this flatline number to answer these 911 calls. We're not improving.
Alter blames the budget, not fire department leaders, for the current problems.
Here's your budget, here's your department, this is all that you have, make it work. And I think they're doing a great job.
Do we have a little more work left to do? Absolutely.
Daryl Gordon was called a fireman's fireman, and his family had just one request after he was gone.
Do everything in your power to make sure this doesn't happen again. And at this point, without funding these additional positions and making these other capital, requests or these capital purchases, I don't know that the city of Cincinnati is doing that.
I reached out to City Manager Harry Black. He commends the department's work to implement the majority of the recommendations, and he asked Chief Winston to continue to plan for enhanced training and aggressively pursue grants and prioritizing city funding. There is some good news there. The department is getting $1.2 million federal dollars for training commanders and fire apparatus operators, and the chief says that will go a long way in raising the department to another level, Craig.